So we've been studying the Catholic queen who refused to compromise. Who was that? Jaleel? Mary Tudor. What was her regal name? Queen Mary the First. Why was she the first? Why are we calling her the first? Kennedy? First queen of England. All right, guys. I want you guys to have a conversation about Mary as if you know her. All right. Who'd like to start with the beginning of Mary's life? And you don't have to give me all the information, but just give me something you know about the beginning of her life. Michaela, nice and loud, please.
Mary was born on August 3rd.
That's okay.
September.
Yeah.
February.
Never mind. All right, go ahead, Sydney. At the age of 2. Why? Why would Mary be engaged at the age of 2, Solomon? Nice and loud. Wherever. You know, wherever the king of that time wanted to build a relationship. All right. What else do we want to know about Mary's early years? Her early years. Faith?
That she was the first survivor of the only survivor of Catherine and King Henry after she had 6 attempts to have a son.
Yeah, having children. And the king said what when he realized, you know, we may not be able to have a son now, but what? Solomon? We're still baby young.
Yep, we are still young.
And therefore we can have a child. We can have a son. All right. Why did the king and Catherine divorce? That's a real easy question. Rodrigo, take a stab at it.
The queen couldn't give him a son.
The queen didn't give him a son. All right. But why did he ultimately, Solomon, go ahead.
The woman named Anne Boleyn caught his eye in the courtroom.
Caught his eye. Was Anne Boleyn known as a mistress of the day? I'm going to give you the answer. Yes. Like, that was like what she kind of, people knew her for. But she was very, very intelligent. Anne Boleyn was. How did Anne Boleyn ultimately die? And why? Why? Kennedy.
She was accused of adultery, witchcraft, and incest with her brother. She got beat.
Was it all necessarily true?
No.
Probably not. But why did he have to trump up those charges? Why was it important for the king to say, look, we got to find a reason to get her? Cavante?
She didn't give him a son.
Okay. And he was what? What was his fear? Let me ask you that. Why was he so instrumental in wanting to get a son? What was his fear? Back to McKay.
That the Tudor line and
That the monarchy would come to a screeching halt. Because at this point, he was literally the only one left. Right? So if he had never had a son, the fear would have been my lineage is going to die. Did he ultimately have a son?
Yes.
Who was his son? Robert?
Edward.
King Edward the... Who can tell me King Edward the what? George, Corey George. The 6th. I think it was King Edward the 6th. All right. When did Edward take the throne? Chrysali, 9 years old. When did Edward leave the throne and for what reason? Sydney died at the age of 15. When he died, the throne was intended for who when he died? When Edward died, who was the throne supposed, or the monarchy supposed to be led by? Jaleel? It was supposed to be led by Mary. Why? Why was Mary supposed to be the next one in line after the death of her brother? Jada. She was the next eldest in line. Now, was she older or younger than Edward? Older. And somebody in the room should be able to tell me by how many years. How old was Mary when Edward took the throne? That's how old Mary was when Mary took the throne, right? How old was Mary when Edward took the throne? Now he took the throne at 9, he died at 15. She took the throne at 36, 37, somewhere around there. How old was Mary when her 9-year-old brother took the throne? Exaiah. No. Sinai. No. Faith. 31. 31 plus 5 is 36. Right? He would have stayed on the throne for about 6 years, so she probably was about between 31 and 32 when her brother took the throne. Imagine having a 9-year-old on the throne, right? And you're 30, you're in your 30s. Okay? But when Edward died at 15, he had no children, he had no wife, and so Mary was the next one in line, so she got the throne, right? Right? Really? What happened? What happened, Kalani? Why would he want to give it to a cousin? And he know good well that's not how this goes, right? Why a cousin, Solomon?
Because he wanted to give it to his Protestant cousin and not his Catholic sister.
To keep what?
Protestant.
In what?
In the kingdom.
Well, in what? It's one word begin with a P. What was in power prior to the Protestant Church or the Church of England?
Pope.
The Pope or the Roman Catholic Church. All right? And in order for him to break away from the Roman Catholic Church, he had to create his own church, the Church of England, right? And he was the sovereign or the head of the church. And to this day, the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth, is the sovereign or the head of the church, right? All because of what King Henry did back then. But he did that in order to divorce his wife, right? All right. Mary was on the throne. Why was she called Bloody Mary? Last question. Why is Mary known as Bloody Mary? Robert?
If anyone talks about the church that her mother she would have to pay.
That was one reason. But what else? What did she ultimately do? Faith?
She killed many Protestant people because they wouldn't change their religion back to Catholic.
Yeah. She ultimately went throughout the kingdom slaying anybody who refused to denounce the Protestant religion or faith. Because she knew that the Catholic faith was why she ultimately became who she was. All right, guys, good job. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right, guys, log out of your lap.